Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about mirrors to each other. That's a thinker. And luckily, I have Corinna and Isabel here to help us really think about this because what does it mean? Because let's be honest, we're going past the surface level right now, ladies and gentlemen. Put your seatbelts on because it's gonna be a real ride. Thank you so much, Karina and Isabel, for coming on my show. Please tell me, what does mirrors to each other make you think about? Both of you, whatever.
Okay,
Whoever
I'll
wants to go
start.
first.
So Isabel and I are a unit. I don't know how to call this. We call ourselves Our Truth, right? We are musicians and artists, and we are twins, which helped us a lot to have a greater understanding about communication. I think because we come from a background with aggression and disrespect, partially, right? We also had whatever,
Other
but we
things.
learned a lot of things that we had to unlearn over time
Mhm.
once we were aware of it. And
Mhm.
so that helped a lot to change the view on how life functions. How does it work, right? And so when we're talking about mirroring, Isabel and I, while we are twins, identical even, we are also very different. And
Mhm.
the first thing we had to learn is not to expect the other to be the same. And
Mhm.
in the mirroring department, it stopped being a victim, because in the beginning,
Mhm.
it used to be that I would have unsettling experiences in life, and I kept pointing my finger at how can this be? How can you be this way?
Yeah.
How can I feel so bad with my how my environment is reflecting me? Until I believed that is actually mirroring the inside of me, that I have wounds, and they come out through other people because they give me the opportunity to find the feeling in me that doesn't work, actually, right? The one that doesn't support me gets brought up through the reflection of another that helps me to find that feeling that I can still heal. So in a way, I'm not being punished anymore with people that are giving me feelings that I don't enjoy. Rather, they show me where I have wounds to heal, which then gives me gentleness towards them and
Yeah.
gives me the opportunity to still love them for who they
Yeah.
are, and then makes everything so much more soft and allows
Mm.
growth to happen. Because when I
Mm.
close my door and just say, F you, go away, I don't give them the opportunity to grow. And I most certainly don't give myself the opportunity. So the
Yeah.
mirroring is the greatest point of view that I have ever experienced, that I have taken on for years now, that allows me to not be a victim to my circumstance, but rather the beautiful creator that helps me to become a greater version of myself.
Yes.
My
Oh my
answer.
goodness. I love that answer. I think that's so deep in so many ways because it comes down to being self-aware. And once you
Exactly.
chose to be self-aware of who you are, your environment, your circumstance, you took your power back and you decided to choose what you were going to do with your emotions, choose what you were going to do with your actions, choose what you were going to do with your thoughts. Oh, that's beautiful because you can literally live with grace, knowing how you're going to react and move and go on with life. And I love how you said it, it's like you reflecting when that other person is there, and it's like we don't realize that. We don't always realize that sometimes that person that's triggering us, you know how people say I'm triggered? Well, it's like that's an opportunity for you to grow. That's an opportunity for you to learn. That's an opportunity to be like, wait, why does this always happen? You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on the power of pause, of just pausing? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I love it. I call that a timeout, right? I love the idea of like if I understand what you mean when you say pause, then I take it as there are times where I can't move forward, either with someone or even with myself, that if
Yeah.
I'm trying to heal and I come to a block where I feel like I can't get through that, then
Yeah.
that pause is the benefit of releasing the trying, so that it opens the door to making it happen. Because I think sometimes when we try so hard, when we hold on so tightly, it's like, and with
Yeah.
by holding on that thing that we want to change so badly, we don't give this thing the opportunity to actually unfold because there is no
Yeah.
space. We have to give
Yeah.
space. And then I think another pause that I learned from Isabel, who's been doing this way longer than me, is meditation. That
Mm.
just really, like, I've had it where I'm like, oh my God, my mind is messed up. I can't stop thinking about something. I need to meditate. And then, it's that focus on just breathe, just breathe. The thought comes, no, it's okay, just breathe, just breathe. I like to say fifth dimension in, fifth dimension out, whatever. I have these, it's like this wave of, as fifth dimension to me is a higher frequency, is the higher
Mm.
acceptance, the higher capability of living love. So that helps me then to get rid of that thought, which then might come back, but already has an answer with it. It's just so magical.
Mm.
Life can be so magical if we're allowing it to flow.
Oh,
I have
I love
something to
that.
say to that too, if I may.
Please, yes, please go
No,
ahead. I've been
I
waiting for
don't
you
speak to
to
say.
jump in.
It's
So yes,
it's
jump
a
in,
difficult
girl.
day so far. So when I hear pause, I hear the most important reaction to being triggered. Because when Corinna and I, we are working through the fine tuning of the things that we worked through our whole life, I can say, like right from the beginning, I started healing myself. And then here we have the most perfect mirror as a twin. And so there's still triggers that are deep as they can possibly go. And the worst thing that can happen is to react triggered, because then we are reacting with emotion and nothing is being resolved. We are reacting as victims. Like, even if I consciously all the time I know that everything is my reflection, and I live like that, in the triggered moment that only my sister has the pleasure of experiencing, um, it gets ugly because it's gone. This whole rational understanding is completely gone. Then there's only the feeling of wrong, and then there is nothing to be solved, nothing to be gained, because if we act out of if this is an emotional response, there's no clarity to it. There is just pain in that triggered moment, of course. Yes. So
Yes.
we realized this with each other, and I noticed this because from time to time I've managed, and I'm still working on that, to stay calm when I'm triggered. And
Mhm.
only then can I later say, listen, you hurt me with that, without already having reacted and hurt her in return for being hurt. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's the best response for sure that I learned with my sister, to pause, to not
Yes.
say a thing, and then calm down, and then you can talk. And it's the same, like you were saying, Corinna, the meditation is kind of the same thing. Sometimes I can't wait to meditate because this is the moment I allow for the thoughts to end. Stop
Mm.
right there, no thinking whatsoever. And it's this, it feels like this. It feels like the static around my head and blah. And there's these thoughts that
Yeah.
are unsupportive. And the only
Yeah.
thing that can stop it is the focus on the breath, the focus on the present moment, which comes with the breath.
Yes.
And there is where I allow it all. That's the huge part. And that brings alignment and brings a lot of clarity from the guidance we all have, since we're all connected to this one thing we are.
Yes, yes. I think that's beautiful because when you have that perspective and you have that pause, you obviously touched on a lot of the main juicy points, but it gives you that empathy and compassion to somebody else who hasn't learned that skill yet. You know what I mean? Like I know you're gonna get there, or one day you'll get there and you're still living on the surface level of things. You haven't realize the true gift of this pause and this true gift of not also always being impulsive and reacting to whatever the world is throwing at you. But I'll let it slide, I'll let it go, and I'll move on because it's a type of different type of love and compassion because it's like you said, it's hurt and hurt. Everyone's just hurting each other. And we live in a world that you can see the hurt everywhere. So when you start healing on yourself and start that pause and just that just control, like that self-discipline, goodness, it truly does bring something that not only changes you, but changes everybody around you. I mean, you can see it within your sister. I mean, come on, she said it, she started it first, and then I realized, like, you know what, this ain't that bad. And I think a lot of people do forget that. And I want to bring up something that you said earlier, talked about how you guys are twins, you guys are different, and sometimes when you live through these life that you're living together, you still see life differently. And I think that is so important because we forget that life is very subjective, and when we are mirroring or looking at someone in the mirror, I'm like, but you're supposed to be like me. We went through the same things, especially with siblings or cousins, family dynamics. It's really big. It's like we seen the same abuse, we seen the same trauma, but you don't see it the same way I do. And it's like we have to remember that life is subjective. And when we remember that, it gives you the grace to deal with other people who haven't gotten to that point yet. So I think that is so great. Do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, the most empower if one can take this kind of responsibility, which I know is possible, I can do it. You just heard me say it. Everybody can. The ones that just heard me can say it because I resonate with you. But the idea of I can actually take responsibility for absolutely everything I see. Hence,
Mhm.
I have a choice to look to choose my focus. But the first thing is everything that comes into my space was invited energetically because it's electromagnetic energy. It's this beautiful torus, a toroidal field around us, like the apple. We are inside the apple. I have a picture about that. So the energy field is, we are sending out and it comes back to us. And
Yeah.
so everybody who comes into my experience is reflecting me. And if I
Mhm.
can take this responsibility and say, what are they showing me? That is really where I can grow. I disconnect myself of this person and see that they're showing me probably my past, because whatever it is, I have been here, my spirit has been here for longer than I'm sitting here. So there is this, like we talked to a friend, and we were saying, like, it's not the person in front of you, it's what the person is showing you. And that's the gift. Here we have that most beautiful present. If we can take this responsibility of saying, okay, they show me something about myself, instead of saying that is wrong and then getting upset about what we're seeing, because either we change inside or we do walk away and change focus, because it helps nobody to just get upset about things and still stay in that situation, without change.
Exactly. Exactly. You can't stay in the same situation because you're only digging and digging in the same spot and you're only sinking yourself.
And you're creating
And
more of it.
exactly. And it's only
Out in
just
breath.
straight chaos, chaos and chaos. And it's like nobody deserves that. And I think this is a great way for people to realize like it all starts with you. You know what I mean? It all starts with you. So I know
Right.
I'm noticing the time and it's catching up to us. So what can be some lasting words of wisdom that you can leave us off with to keep on thinking?
Well, I like to give this example that Isabel actually brought into my world, where they say, like, what we all do as humans, we look in the mirror and we try to change
That's
the.
Bashar. Okay.
Okay,
I
Bashar
don't
said that.
follow, I don't follow any, but I did come across a lot of people. And that's the one thing I heard from Bashar. And I think it's so excellently phrased.
So
Please
what it
tell.
is said is that it's we're trying to change the frown into a smile in the mirror image. So now, if we use the mirror image of anyone we ever see, because this is the danger that we humans do, we point our fingers and say, you. But the fact
Mhm.
is, every single one of us, as bad as we think they are, or as good as they are doing their best. In their
Yeah.
world, this is their expression of this is the best. They might just be selfish and say it is best for me, where we believe it is always about me and you. But
Yeah.
either way, it is the best in that moment. So if we
Yeah.
can see that already, that the outside reflection of whatever we ever see is the best expression, depending on how healed or not healed we are inside. So then we stop pointing the finger, we stop trying to change them, but we are looking within. And this, I think, and that's to me, was the greatest one of there's so many great gifts that I've been given with thought and expression, but that is definitely one of them that helped me to really stop punishing others for not working the way I want them to,
My goodness.
because I
Yes.
believe you're doing your best.
Oh
And
my
it's
goodness, Isabel.
beautiful.
Do you have anything to add
I can
before?
add something too,
Yes, please.
which I really loved. Uh, to share that visual. I saw the most beautiful visual about this idea. Well, but I can say we are here to support each other. We are all here in service to each other. If we can see the other as serving to me, if I can see my surrounding as serving to me so that I can have clarity of who I am, while we can grow, because then everybody's my friend. Everybody's here to support me. I'm here to support anybody who hears me right now. If you can take it like that, you still have a choice. I can still choose. Is this aligned with my truth or not? Yes, always I can choose that. But the first thing that happens, it shows me something about me. And if I can do that and see the service we are doing for each other and take that mindset, we're all here together. We're all this connected, beautiful energy field. We'll make this paradise, this world.
Win-win.
Oh my God. Right, exactly. Win-win. Because if you combine them both together, what? You got yourself a sweet pie. Oh my goodness. That is the greatest that we can continue on thinking with, because I've had to learn that concept of everybody's doing their best. And once I did, it happened exactly like you said, Karina, how it just I stopped punishing people. You know what I mean? Like I stopped blaming people. I stopped giving people reasons of why they were so bad and why they couldn't change. And then I realized, like, they're only doing the best that they can. They're only giving the tools that they know. They were only raised by the people that only knew what they know as well. They didn't know any better. And let's be honest, the generations before us, they only knew as much as they knew. And we know now that, man, it's kind of very messed up how much they knew when they took out and put it out into the world. So now it's like we are trying to redo all of this. And when you combine your community and serve, and you put together that they're just doing their best, oh my goodness, it creates a true paradise, because everyone will have compassion, everyone will have understanding, everyone will be less stressed about why somebody's doing it wrong. Well, it's because they don't have the knowledge. Provide knowledge and they'll have the understanding. Without the understanding, you can't be upset that they don't know the knowledge. Common sense is not common because everybody learns differently and everything is subjective. So that is something that is so powerful. Oh, girls, man, I feel like we could keep on talking, and that's a problem.
Well, it's never a problem to keep on talking. I think that anytime we're exchanging, especially these deep conversations, we are shifting. Even if nobody were to listen, I do believe when we exchange these words, it is rippling into a field that subconsciously is still picking it up. So, I do love communication.
One last thing, if I may say, I feel like nobody does anything wrong, because everybody has a purpose for doing what they're doing. And we shall never think that even if we think we know somebody perfectly, we don't see the whole picture. What is going on internally, we'll never see it. So it's better to give anyone a break and allow them to be
agreed, but disclaimer, some people are so disconnected, they can do evil, they can do things that we cannot allow to continue, right? We do know that, but most of us are good people. Most of us are coming from a piece of pain, but the heart is still there, and the heart still beats for love, and it resonates with love, and it just got so lost that it needs to be reminded, to be revived. So in a bigger picture, most of us are good people, and most of us were never guided correctly and never grew up in a way that served us. Nobody in school told us this stuff. You said you had to learn this. So did we. We didn't learn it from our parents. We got completely other different teaching, but thank God we are connected to something greater than us that says, in order for you to be happier, this is how you go.
Talk. I love it. I love it, because once you tap into that authentic self, then it goes back to you bring out your purpose into the community, and then you go back to serving, and then it all ties back in together. Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to know more about them and how could you not, please check them out. I have their lovely photos on my website. Just click right under and you'll have access to their website so that you can continue on thinking, because how could you not continue on thinking after this conversation? Am I right? So with that being said, please go check them out, and always keep thinking, y'all. Bye.